All right, Nick, going live a little earlier than usual. A little earlier than usual. I just missed it. I was getting a setup here. I heard Sadak sound like it was close. They're not going to review it, I assume.
Yeah, I was getting some. I just heard Sadak going like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Man, it was close. Well, you might.
Oh, we got a review.
You might as well ask for it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he got him. He's out. He's out, Nick. Did you see it?
Yeah, I see it. Luke Bailey.
He's out, bro. What a tag. What a throw. He got him on the thumb. Oh, he's out. Right here. He smokes his thumb. Boom.
How do you miss that right in front of your face?
That's a small, because it's just so small.
It's a lot easier. It's super slow.
That's tough for him. You're out, bro. I can't put the chat up. Chat, I'd love to talk to you, but I inevitably know you're ahead of me.
I'm minimizing him too. Love y'all.
Oh man, that's big. It's huge. That's so big. Come on. Can we get out of this somehow?
I mean, I don't want like just the pitches you can save for Diaz, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
well, just getting outs at this point, but yes, all the above. Come on, Diaz. Diaz start this guy fresh, I assume?
yes.
I didn't see you. Just getting set up.
Oh. Man.
Yeah, well, this is the guy we need to make sure.
You know what I think we need, Trace?
We need likes.
We need a lot of likes. Need a lot of likes because we need this one.
Yeah.
Oh, they're pinch hitting too. Oh.
What did you think they were gonna do?
Yeah. Hoping their third base coach / manager was gonna just be asleep at the wheel. No.
Make a play. Wow. Wow.
It's my shortstop. That's my shortstop. All right. The big dogs.
Play.
It's the big dogs, Trace.
That's a great play. Not going to downplay what he just did there.
Yeah, no, that was a tough play.
Man, he throws that ball. He throws that ball away. The Reds are losing. As simple as that.
Yeah.
And that's partly why he.
Whew.
No matter how bad he looks at the plate, he just offers something to this team that they, regardless, even if he wasn't that great in the field, and even if he wasn't that great, they're still gonna stick with him because he's here to stay now. You're not sending him back.
Barry Larkin made like 47 errors his first year.
Wow.
Maybe like 18, but
no, I know what you're saying.
It was a lot.
It's like the
Trace,
Peyton Manning interception thing.
how's your weekend going, my friend?
Could have been better. Could have been better.
The ice cream didn't fix anything?
No, it didn't help as much as I was hoping.
Oh, man.
I don't know what it is, man. I mean, I go back and forth with this. I just feel like the Reds are not playing this bad. They're not helping themselves, but they're not playing this bad. Like, the Pirates won a baseball game with 3 hits and 2 errors. It's just gross.
Yeah, I mean, that was the 6th inning, the one where Friedel hit that last one that just was like, he hit it pretty hard just after like a 7-pitch at bat. It was just like,
yeah,
that was like, oh man, it's not going good right now.
No.
But hey, you can always flip it.
You can. You can.
Who are the Pirates going with? They going with Bedar? Oh, not going with the closer. Some dude named Shelby.
Let's score like a few here.
I feel like the guys that come in with like the ERAs of 10 are the most scary to me. Like, I want someone to come in with like a Luke Weaver ERA, like a 6.5. Like, I don't like the 10. Like, you just know that's not going to keep up.
Yeah. Well, in these situations, the best thing that can happen is a walk hit by pitch. Something happens early that gets them a little underneath their skin, rattled, and then it kind of spirals. Their command spirals. That's like. Let's make sure that nervous energy stays right where it needs to stay. Oh, did that hit him? That hit his. What'd that do? It hit his bat.
He hit the bat. Yeah.
Can we get any more unfucking lucky, man? Like, how many times can they just that hit him in the arm? Where'd that? I want to see it again.
No, I think he hit like the back of the bat under his elbow.
Sounded like the bat.
Well, they haven't updated the strikes. The strike ticker.
It's 2-2. Let's not get our hopes up. How do you throw a pitch like that and it turns into a strike?
Yeah, 2-2. They made that look a little more dicey than it was.
Yeah, second baseman did a good job. Unbelievable.
Single home run steal. This is where Ellie can be a little bit patient at the plate. Selby averaged 6.5 walks per 9 innings at triple.
There you go, Nick.
First pitch to left field. Reynolds back deep in the corner, sliding.
He caught that.
It's a
Oh my God.
out of our view in their ground. He's able to rob
He caught that.
thin sliver of space.
Lord.
Oh my gosh.
Right into the corner. Well, that is an all-star play.
Is their closer not available?
No, he pitched in the first game.
Well, I didn't know.
So I don't know. Usually, if you're the home team, you would pitch him here. So
right.
I don't know. Maybe they say if it gets to the 10th, we'll only use him in the 10th.
That's what I was.
I don't know. I mean, they don't have anything. But they don't have anything to play for either. So, if they're like, his arm's a tiny bit sore, let's just sit him, that's...
This dude's been all over the place. Hits McLean in the bat on 2-1. That would have made it 3-1. Dude slides in the corner like Willie Mays. It's a ball.
All right. There we go.
Walks
Joey.
Steer on 4 pitches. This is where Joey Votto has to keep earning his stripes right here. Pounce one out of here.
Likes.
Yeah, need him. Come on, Joey.
That was a good pitch.
Yeah. It's like if you throw it up there as hard as you can and you get him right down the middle, you might get lucky and hit a corner, and he's done it twice. Joey's going to battle right here, though. I got a feeling. He's going to battle. I love that. There he is. Come on. Come, Joey. Atta boy. Did you hear somebody talking? You hear that guy talking? Huh?
I couldn't. What did he say?
He said, "Here comes that curveball, Votto. Here it comes. You ready?" And he threw that curveball, and he said, "Strike 3," right when he let it go. That's pretty funny. I mean, listen, ain't nobody there. You might as well chirp. Inside. That's called Hall of Fame take. Hall of Fame take, baby. That's it. See, that's it. That looked inside, and then the radar said it touched the plate. I don't know, man.
Their catcher is a hell of a framer.
Yeah, he's very good.
There we go.
What I tell you?
All right, steer running, sneaky speed.
I didn't say he was going to get a hit. Didn't say he was going to get a hit. But what I did say was he's going to battle. And we went from 0-2 real quick. Come on, Joey. Be ready to hit. That's just a good pitch. God damn.
Oh, God. Brian Reynolds duo. Oh, no. Oh.
You know, the other thing I hate to bring up is that we got a bunch of subs in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like, but I know we got Fairchild, Newman hanging
See,
around. I'm pretty sure we
we
got Hopkins
got
in the game.
we have CES, Hopkins, Fairchild, Maley due up if we're fortunate
And
enough to
then
get
Newman.
to the 10th, with Votto running.
Yeah, and they're not going to pinch hit for Votto or pinch run for Votto because they only have Stevenson left.
They said can't play first base anymore.
There's no one to run for him, literally.
Well, I mean Stevenson, I guess, but I mean, is he
Was
even
he any
faster?
better? Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a hell of a
He might have, like,
race. Yeah, let's stick
Stevenson's
Stevenson.
probably like a tiny bit faster, was probably is more likely to do something boneheaded. All right, Alexis.
I'll tell you what, BigTimeBats.com. They've been trying to sell some bats for like a month. They're trying to hop on the Ellie train.
You ever been to PNC Park?
No, I've not. It's one of the ones I've been wanting to go to, but I just haven't yet.
You got to get out there. It's a good park. I'll give Pittsburgh credit, man. Even when their teams are bad and there's not that many people there, they're really into the games,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. All right, Alexis.
Batter strike. Hell yeah. 0-1. I like starting off 0-1.
I imagine Alexis Diaz also likes starting off 1. Right at him.
Man, if you were to tell me what a home run pitch and swing looks like, that was about the two of them that usually mesh together.
There was like that tiny tenth of a second away.
Yeah. He got him. Where's my right fielder? There's my second baseman.
Likes. Brian Reynolds is up. We need some likes.
Yeah.
Dudes. How about, did you hear the
He hit that in the
stat
river.
on? Yeah, almost. So Brian Reynolds had never hit a home run in his career against the Reds at PNC Park, and has tooted in this game. Think of how many games that he's played against the Reds.
Yeah, he went. What? Hit one in the Allegheny, the guy said. That guy.
Spell Allegheny, bro.
Yeah. He went on that one. Thank you. Open your eyes on the first one. 20.
I do like those uniforms. Those are some sharp uniforms they're wearing tonight.
Yes, they are.
Way better than their City Connect.
Yeah, they might as well just keep those for Friday nights.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a strike. Call the strike a strike.
Yeah, why? Yeah, I don't. Why did they have to go? I don't.
I say we throw that like 6 more times, Nick. That same pitch. The one that he's check swing 3 times in a row on. We're not getting. What are we doing? That's the stuff that pisses me off. We're trying to get fancy and try to get a fastball up and in on him. I'd rather just get beat with that pitch that he looked like an idiot on 3 times in a row. Here it comes again. What are we? He's sitting dead red on that pitch. If he can throw that pitch like anywhere on the outside half, that slider, he's out. And he's got to be able to execute it, though. Does that box look incredibly small to you? Like, it's at his belt. It's at his belt.
I've noticed the TV boxes do not always replicate StatCast. There'll be times where there'll be a strike you see on TV and or a ball and you'll look at StatCast and it will not be the same. I tend to think that StatCast is probably more trustworthy of the two.
Yeah, definitely. More than that box.
Yeah.
Perfect. Could have done that 3 pitches ago, Nick.
Just
he can't see that pitch. You know, sometimes when you're a hitter, there's a pitch that you just can't see. It doesn't work. That's it. That's Brian Reynolds' pitch. And probably 450 other Major League Baseball players.
All right, one more.
Who's up? God, not this guy.
No team in the National League has played more extra inning games than the Reds. They've played free baseball 12 times.
I don't know what that means, John. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Woo!
Just means it's always interesting.
A little Louisiana Bayou right there. Come on, Alexis. Don't overthrow it, bro. Just relax. It's kind of funny how on the backstop of the Pittsburgh Pirates game, Bradenton, Florida is running advertisements basically saying, hey, we know it sucks up there. Won't you consider coming down here?
The weather's about to get real bad soon, folks.
Yeah. Just come on down. No, he didn't get that. All right. All right.
All right, let's play free baseball.
Literally close to the worst situation you could have for free baseball. Not trying to be negative, just telling you the truth. Deep drive south. Are we gonna get it? Is that what? Are you manifesting the deep south commodities deep fly drive of the game right now? Is that what you're doing? Or are you just using that to get out of here and cover yourself up? I think it's the latter, but we'll take it. Boy, wouldn't that be something if Stuart Fairchild was able to do something special? He's already done something good today. Good golly. Look at the genetics on Collinsworth's family. His daughter, I assume? Is that his daughter? Looks just like him.
No such thing as wrong out here.
Much better.
Are you on your way?
Yep, coming.
And Mom and Dad? Don't worry, they'll be there.
Pull the chat back up.
That's how I feel about this whole thing, Mark. Can we just get lucky?
Yeah.
Can we just get lucky? I mean, I just want to get out of here. Get a win, get out of here, and at least make me think the season's not over. Because I am on the line. I am on the line. I'm right there. Nothing like the Pirates having to. Oh, what are we doing, David?
Look at that! Tyler Stevens is pitch running. Was Votto DH today? Yeah, Votto's DH. Okay, so I guess it doesn't really matter about the defense.
I mean, I'm not trying to be too crazy here, and I know that the chances are very, very small. But what happens if Meyer gets hurt?
They have a pitcher playing first base, and you lose your DH. I mean, I don't know if I'd worry about something like that. I don't know. Let's check the sprint speed. Let's see what we got. Let's see what the difference is here.
What? Slow.
Stevenson's in the white. Votto's in the blue.
All right, whatever. I'll just hit one out of here, CES. How about that? Let's do something really good, like hit one over the fence. Power. BigBomb.com, like we did down in Louisville.
You know who's due?
A lot of guys. Who? CES?
CES is very due. All right, so what do we at?
All right, I got to put the chat away just in case.
Yeah, I hit him. Love you. 1.2.
This would have been Vito's turn on the rotation. He had been sent back down to minors.
What's going on here? PitchCom. It's always something.
He profiles similar fashion to the man whose spot started today on Trey Jackson. More of a full innings guy. Pirates have battled injuries in the rotation.
So the difference between Stevenson and Votto is almost the difference between Benson and CES. So there is a little bit of a advantage there.
Listen,
It's kind of sad that that's what Tyler Stevenson's career's turned into at this point.
No, well, listen, nope. That's just so bad. Like, that's what we're doing. We're swinging at a first pitch breaking ball inside, off the handle. It's like, these guys need to relax, man. I know that's easier said than done, but just play baseball for one time. Just play baseball. Golly, overthinking everything. TJ Hopkins, you can be a hero. You can be like a Jason Vossler.
Have your Vossler moment.
Let's do it. This is the Vossler moment. What is up with these guys? Maybe it's just one of those things where you only notice them throwing good pitches and not their mistakes, but got some random dude named Beto coming in the game throwing dots.
Guy who had a 4.5 ERA in AAA this year.
Mm-hmm. That's not.
Hopkins and CES probably have saw this guy. He pitched. He made.
Somebody
10
tell Hopkins
starts.
this is right in his element. Get lucky. Get lucky. Get lucky. Get lucky. There's nothing you could do for Tyler.
Yeah, whew. All right.
The crazy thing is, really lucky would be if that was with 2 outs. In a way, my point is that Stevenson would have scored if it was 2 outs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he didn't know till the absolute.
You can't.
I mean, even still, you had no chance. So yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a close play at second if he would have caught it.
Yeah.
Come on, Stewie, get one in the air. Get one in the air, Stu. It's not the pitch to swing at, but that's all right. That one wasn't held up, though, Chris. There's a difference. Get through. Run, Stu. Run, Stu. Safe. Thank you.
I don't want to celebrate till I see a replay.
I think he got there. Real time, it looked like he beat it.
Why would they not even just challenge it?
Don't look at it, Stu. What are we doing here? He got it. He's safe.
Yeah. I was surprised that was that close. I thought for sure when that ball was hit, like, oh, no chance they get double this up. All right.
Steal second. Go. Steal second.
Yeah, this would be a good time to steal. What do you have to lose?
Yeah, the only thing you could say is that you could Maley could hit one out of here maybe, so you can just give him a chance to hit one in the gap. You give him a chance to hit one in the gap. I'd assume they're playing super deep though. Pittsburgh's got to be playing super deep. Is that like a plane in the stadium? What is that?
Yeah, I think so. There's
Or a helicopter? Something.
Yeah.
Stuart Fairchild?
Stuart Fairchild.
Wow. Way to lead us that one, John. I love that. All right, let's steal second.
I know it because I literally have it up on my screen right now.
Ooh, good pitch.
Ooh.
Now, if we get the 2 strikes, we're 100% stealing. One
Sims? Is Sims coming?
Who do you bring in? I don't know. I give up guessing. Sims walks the world, but if he doesn't walk the world, he can strike out the world, so it could go both ways. Go. Come on.
There we go.
Can we take advantage of these absolute turds? These guys are not good at baseball. They've been playing bad baseball all day. We just been playing worse. (3-1) with the base open. They got it.
That dude's
breaking balls.
That dude's caught
That's a horrible decision.
all 19 innings today. That guy's caught all 19 innings today.
It's called a grinder. There's some guys, Nick, they don't need time off. They just play baseball all day.
Not everyone has 3 catchers.
Okay.
Find a way. Swinsky, Davis, Rodriguez.
They got
Swinsky has pretty drastic splits, but I can't imagine
where are they at in the
Alex
lineup?
Young, right?
6?
4.
4.
So Swinsky murders right-handed pitching. Henry Davis is had a rough year, but he does have 3 hard hit balls today. And then Andy Rodriguez.
You're not bringing in a lefty, though.
Solitaire.
So.
Well, I think if it was Mole, but you've already used him, so.
Well, you still got to face 3 hitters. So just because you got one guy you might match up well against, I'm not taking a chance on somehow you don't get the one guy you're supposed to get. Now, next thing you know, you got 2 guys you don't match up well against.
But to my point, Sawinski's their best hitter on the team against right-handed pitching. I think he might even be better than Brian Reynolds against right-handed pitching, or at least close. So I think Indy's a switch.
But we're talking. I don't think that if we're just strictly talking percentage based on what I'm saying is I don't think that the percentages of that you're gaining by bringing a lefty in, you might be losing on the back end twice.
Well, the third hitter's a switch hitter, so it's left-right switch.
Okay.
I have no idea.
What's the splits on the net? What's the? They're not bringing in a lefty regardless, but what's the splits on what would be the guy after that?
I'm gonna look at his minors because he doesn't have enough at bats in the majors to give you anything. No,
I'm just bringing in. How about this?
Freeze?
I'm bringing in my best guy, and I think honestly, I hate to say that. I mean, at this point, it's got to be Sims.
It better. Sims better be. At this point. I mean, you need him to be.
This is where
He's got identical splits down the line, like 766,
Duarte.
749 OPS. Oh,
This
hey,
is
you know
this
what?
is gonna
I
go
don't hate
bad for
this.
your. This is gonna go bad for your boy right here in this
I
chair if this
don't-
doesn't go the way it's supposed to go.
I do not hate this move.
Yeah, it all comes down to pressure. This guy's never been in this spot before. Sims has. Sims, I mean, he threw earlier today, right? So I don't know, man. It's where just make a play. Can we have some baseball players that make some plays and quit worrying about who did what?
I think Duarte closed the game out on Friday night for Louisville.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this guy does have a lot of power. God bless, dude.
Yeah, and he
It's like Adam Dunn.
he had slowed down. He had slowed down for a while too. He had like a 1 month stretch where he was hitting homers every other night. Good pitch.
That first out strikeout would be a massive, massive deal. Oh, come on, baby.
Let's take out old Brett Kennedy available.
I feel like Bally Sports Ohio basically handed the guy in the stands a microphone for their crowd mic. Good pitch. That's just a good pitch. Good spoil.
That's the big one. That's a big one.
You nailed it, Chris.
Sorry, Chet. Forgot about the ghost runner. You'd think I'd be in midseason form at this point.
It's a little rollover ground ball. He went. Okay. The ball's barely off the plate. Dude looks like he's salsa dancing.
Shows you how important it is if you can do it, have two fastballs. Fastball they struck out Swinsky on, four-seamer in. He's got a lot of run on that two-seamer that he's throwing inside here to Davis.
That's not a bad pitch.
That's low on that two-seamer.
You got a base open. You got a base open, man. You don't have to be like you have to get him. Ground ball double play ends the game. Or throw it right down the middle. No. Take the out. Okay.
All right, one more.
We know, John. This dude looks fast. Is he fast? He's a catcher, so it shouldn't be fast based off of stereotypes. Do you have Savant up right now?
I'm checking it for you. Just barely red. Very, very slight pink tint.
All right. It almost feels like there's something weird where
He's
he could lay
slower.
down
He's
a bunt.
faster than Connor Joe, slower than Brian Hayes.
Just something in my gut. There we go. We'll take a few
No.
of those.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Duarte, do it. Do it for us, bud.
Duarte's been under pressure before. He nailed down 4 saves in Louisville when he was down there for Pat Kelly so far this year. Center field. Fairchild settles. The Reds rally. Their baseball best 37.
Let's go. Let's go, Trace. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, man. When I tell you that's season saving. I know that sounds stupid, but I genuinely mean it. I genuinely think that is season saving right there. And I just won a lot of money.
You did it?
Oh. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it. All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about. I don't know how we're supposed to do a show after all that, but we're going to try to do one nonetheless. Let's do one. Baseball show.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the world, bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Reds win! Liner to right field. Genius, the first run ever. With 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win it. What a dream to get into the career of Jay Bruce.
That one feels a little weird, got to be honest. This has been an absolute, and when I tell everybody this, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. This has been a disgusting, heart-wrenching, roller coaster of an emotion type day for me watching baseball. I didn't expect it to be like this, but it's just the way it went. The Reds, they played horribly today, but they found a way to win. I think they saved the season, Nick. I genuinely mean that. I don't know where your head's at right now, but that's where mine's at. I'm still trying in real time to gather my thoughts. I really am.
Ugly wins count. You found a way to split the doubleheader. You won a series on the road. We count our blessings. Tied back with the Cubs. Half game behind the Marlins because they had a disgusting comeback today. But also, Reds are now just 2 behind the Giants as well. So they're well within reach of 2 teams holding playoff spots at the moment. So you take it, you move along. That's win number 62 on the year, Trace. It's the same amount the Reds had all of last season. So I'm counting my blessings tonight and going to enjoy the off day tomorrow. And hopefully the Reds can find a way to keep it going.
There's a lot to get into. Gabe K, he made me laugh on a day where I haven't laughed a whole lot, I got to be honest. Says, Super Chat, says, thank you, Lord. Extend Bell another 3 years. It's funny. I think it's funny because you know what, man, I gotta be the X app was on a whole nother level. I know David Bell was basically getting canceled. And there was a good comment in the top. I want to give credit where credit's due, obviously, as always. Mike Kraus says, Bell giveth and taketh away. Maybe so. I couldn't stand the decision, David Bell. I don't know where we start here. We have 2 games. I think we do a quick little box score recap, maybe into 1 and 2. We'll do that in just a second, Nick. But I wasn't a big fan of the decision that he made of taking Williamson out. But then he went. He totally redeemed himself. Put in Fairchild. This is Stuart Fairchild saved the season. Save the season tonight. Second game. Game 2, Stuart Fairchild, season saver.
I like the sound of that.
I know you do.
All right, you want to run through game 1 first?
Let's do that, and then we'll try our best to kind of keep this on track. So game 1 recap. Hit us with it.
All right, so this game was scoreless going into the top of the 4th. That's when Matt McLean had an infield single, Joey Votto walked, and then Christian Encarnacion Strand had a 2-out single, made it 1-0 Reds. Top of the 5th, the Pirates botched a pop-up from Will Benson. He reached first base and then stole second base. Matt McLean doubled him home for another 2-out RBI that made it 2-0 Reds. Brandon Williamson, another really strong outing, 5 2/3 innings pitched, only allowed 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, struck out 6 batters. Brandon Williamson since July 1st, 8 starts, 2.99 ERA. Lucas Sims did get Williamson out of the 6th inning, but came back out in the 7th. He walked the leadoff batter. Alex Young came in for the first time since August 6th. He walked another batter, and then he gave up the first career home run to Jared Trelo. That made it 4-2 Pirates. Will Benson did triple in the 9th, his 6th of the season, but the Reds stranded him, and the Reds fall 4-2. One quick kind of thought on this one, and it kind of goes also into the game number 2. Kind of feels like the Pirates stole game 1. Kind of feels like the Reds stole game 2. Is that fair?
I think that's semi-fair. I think both teams just didn't play very good baseball in general. The Pirates especially, man. I mean, seriously, they gave away free base after free base. They let basically a pop-up drop right in front of 2 guys earlier in the game. They had 2 errors in the first game. They had 3 hits. But that's the one thing about baseball is that if you can get lucky, and I don't know if that's the right word to use, but if you can get lucky and get the hits in the right exact perfect spot, and if your hits are home runs, then it can work out for you. And that's what happened in game 1. Let's get into game 1. I don't really want to spend a significant time on it because it's almost yesterday's news to a certain extent, but there was, without question, people on both sides of the aisle that were absolutely pissed in regards to the decision that was made. And here's the thing I want to clarify before we get into this. The Reds' offense is the real problem. It's almost like that's the root of the problem. And we're arguing about things that happen because of the root of the problem, if that makes sense, right? I don't have a perfect analogy for you because my brain has absolutely been mush today. But you get my point. I don't want to kill David Bell too much for taking Williamson out, but I also don't want to sit here and act like I think that that's not a decision that just seems a little bit ludicrous when you have a guy that looked as good as he did. Now, I harpen back, though. Remember what I said about Graham Ashcraft and what he did? He ruined it for everybody. And I think that's perhaps what happened today, to give David a little bit of credit in regards to thinking to himself he's never going to let another starter go out there and give up a 2-run bomb again. But I hated it. I mean, I really did hate it.
I liked it.
Well, of course you did.
All right, so let's set the situation up. All right, so Brandon Williamson walked a batter. There's 2 outs. You need 1 more inning to get out of the 6th inning with the Reds up 2-0. All right. So the first batter up is Connor Joe. Connor Joe has an OPS 121 points higher against left-handed pitchers. Connor Joe also hit a ball 384 feet off Brandon Williamson earlier in the game, and that actually ended up being the longest hit ball of the entire game. So just in that move in itself, a right-handed pitcher is clearly going to be a better move. You need one out to get out of the inning, keep the game moving along. Williamson also was not going to go back out in the 7th inning. Williamson has not thrown more than 98 pitches all year in a game. He was at 88. So if he faces Connor Joe, he's going to get over 90. I don't think there's any chance they're going to bring him back out because they haven't done it all year. So I think maybe the better question here was Lucas Sims the best option? Because Lucas Sims has been struggling. He's been struggling with his command. Do we really want to throw Lucas Sims into a situation where he's coming in with runners on base? Because I don't know if that's where I really want to use Lucas Sims. And then was Alex Young. Why did they go to Alex Young over Sam Mole in the next inning? I mean, Alex Young hadn't pitched in over a week. Mole pitched in the second game, so he was clearly available. So I think the decision to go to Young, who was cold in a tough situation, over Mole, I would criticize that more than the decision to pull Williamson, because Williamson had also allowed 8 hard hit balls throughout the game. So I know he was cruising, but he had given up a lot of hard contact. So, you're rolling till you're not.
I mean, at the beginning, I thought you were making a point for me. You had told me you said that the farthest hit ball all game was 380 feet. Well, I mean, where was it hit? Was it hit the center field? Because if it was hit the center field, then congratulations, you flew out, you got out, and I'm guessing that's what it was.
I think it was to right center, but I mean, he hit the ball very well. Like when it was off the bat, it was like, oh wow, that has a chance, and it died at the warning track. But
question for you:
he did have the best hit ball off of Williamson all game as well.
Okay, and then the next question I would have would be, at what point do you let? I mean, you said the reason he wasn't going to come out for the 7th was because he hasn't thrown more than what, 98 pitches. You said.
Yeah, he hasn't thrown more than 98 in a game at any level this year. Most of his starts have been significantly less than that. That's been a rare occasion for him to go that far. Most of his starts have been in the 80s. A lot of starts in the minors, he wasn't even going very far into the 70s. Like, this is not a guy that's pitched very deep or had high pitch counts very much all season long.
Okay, so here's the thing with that. I hear the argument you're making. But the argument I have back is that the reason he's probably not thrown more than 98 pitches for 2 reasons. One, he either gets taken out of the game, doesn't give an opportunity to throw more than 98 pitches, or during that game that he threw 98 pitches, he wasn't as pitch efficient. He wasn't cruising as you kind of referenced. And I get the idea of having hard hit balls, blah, 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 blah. Well, listen, at some point, perhaps whatever we're going to consider a hard hit ball, if a guy hits a ball 95 mile an hour, if a guy hits a ball 95 miles an hour and he hits it straight into the dirt, then is it really a hard hit ball? I don't know. Yes or no. It's almost like when you're watching a game, not one time that I think Williamson was ever in trouble in that game. It's not like, oh, he got fortunate, he got out of that jam. It's like, oh man, he's flirting with danger, he's flirting with disaster, we avoided fires, that never felt that. I don't think anyone will watch that game felt that. They thought, Williamson looked like, for the most part, he was cruising along, getting outs. He let one guy get on base. Oh, by the way, he had 2 outs in the inning. And the idea that he wasn't going to come out for the 7th, I guess it's strictly based off of not what he's capable of doing, in my opinion. It's based off of what people assume that he's not capable of doing. That's the problem that I have. It's like we're just going to continue to assume guys can't do something until they prove that they can do it. At what point do we just assume that Williamson can do that and give him a chance to go do that when he looks the way that he looks? I get that we're in a little bit of a playoff race. You don't want to just go out there and say, well, let's just see if it works today and give him a chance. And I get the concept of that. The only other concept, or the only other thought in the back of my mind was 2 things. One, you have another game, and Luke Weaver's the starter. Like, hypothetically speaking, I'd like to just let my starter go as long as he can go until I know for a fact that I'm in trouble. And he wasn't in trouble, is what I'm getting at. and my point is, if he would have gotten it, and this is all hypothetical, obviously at this point, and that's what this game is, and we, it's a matter of opinion. There's not really a fact involved here, Nick. So to be fair to both sides that are arguing this, I don't think either side can say they were 100% right. I'm going to call it my side versus your side. I'm not trying to say that, but like my side of thinking is going to point to the fact that, oh, look what happened. And I don't know if that's a fair argument either. My argument is not so much about the situation of whether or not, oh, they would have gotten a run or not gotten a run, this, that, and the other. My argument is like at some point, you got to test these guys a little bit more than you have. And maybe they haven't earned the right to earn that test, but Williamson over his last 4 or 5 starts, in my opinion, today, he at least earned the right to at least get out of that sixth, what would it be, in the 7th inning? 6th inning. So, I don't know. And I know it worked out to where David Bell obviously brought in Sims. Sims walks a guy. He fortunately gets out of the inning, and then they give up a run the next inning with Young. But at the end of the day, the root of the problem, Nick, I can't stress this enough. The root of the frickin' problem is scoring runs. That is the real problem here. We're arguing over giving up 3 runs in a baseball game. That's what we're arguing over. And we're saying that we didn't do a good enough job managing our starting pitching and or our bullpen because we gave up 3 runs. All right, we got some super chats really quick, Nick. Anon76 says, fellas, would you be comfortable putting a sizable bet on the Reds making the playoffs this season? Just curious what your gut tells you. My gut tells me no. I hate to say that. My gut tells me no. Nick?
Well, at Betfred Sportsbook, leader in sportsbooks, Reds are plus 650. So I don't know if I'd put a sizable.
That's just to make the playoffs?
That's to win the division. They don't have they don't have a playoffs. Betfair doesn't have that, so honestly, I'm not even going to speculate on what some silly other sports books might have. I don't think that's fair. But no, I mean, plus 650 to win the division. I don't think the Reds are going to win the division, but plus 650, yeah, that's worth a sprinkle. Why not? I mean, they could.
What's your gut tell you about playoffs? Period, wild card and division.
I would say probably not. I think I would be more surprised if they made the playoffs than if they don't. I mean, they're at. Right. They got about a 1 in 4.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna
they got a 1 in 4 shot. I mean, they could absolutely. When you have a 1 in 4 shot, absolutely, it wouldn't shock you if they do. But I would be more surprised if they did than if they didn't. I'm just a fan watching this, enjoying it, hoping right now.
Yeah.
Is there anything wrong with that?
No, there's not. Reds Daily 4 says the Hopkins AB will go unnoticed but what a massive AB.
Yeah.
There's so many at-bats today, it's mind-boggling. Want to stay with game 1? Who's a severe disappointment, but I'll let you go ahead and say what you're going to say first.
Yeah, I mean, just one more point on Williamson. I mean, we also have to maybe factor in some of Williamson's success might be because they have kid gloved him at times.
Yeah, but you can't play both sides of that aisle, though. Like, you can't say, well, he might have not. They probably saved him from going out there and getting hit, and it's like, well, maybe they didn't.
I mean, maybe, but
I mean, we both can argue the same thing.
This is a pitcher that you have to. You know what is hilarious?
No,
though,
you can't do this. You can't do this.
I'm gonna do it.
You can't do this. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this.
Doing it.
Go ahead. You do it. I'm going to crush you. I'm going to rip this to shreds. You go ahead and do it. Do it.
Imagine back in May.
Here we go.
Arguing that Brandon Williamson should not have been taken out of the game for Lucas Sims. It is wild how baseball changes our perspective so quickly. That's more my thought on that. I'm not trying to crush you or anyone else. I get why people want to see Williamson pitch. There's oftentimes myself as a fan, I hate when a starting pitcher gets pulled out of the game that's going. It does feel like you get cheated at times, but then I go back to my spreadsheet and my nerd, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like everything's defensible here.
Yeah, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. I just have to say, you don't know what you have until you test it out, until you see. You don't know. Have you seen Oppenheimer yet?
I still haven't. I gotta.
What a joke.
Hey,
Well,
man, it's hard to
I
get a
got another-
babysitter.
I got another reference. I got another reference to use with your analytics and your theories at times. And I'm going to wait till you see Oppenheimer to say what I'm going to say. So I'm not going to ruin it.
All right.
I'm not going to ruin
All
it.
right.
But in theory is nice though. I will say that. In theory is nice. All right. There was one point that was made. Go ahead.
You want to talk about Tyler Stevenson?
How'd you know? Just because I said who's a big disappointment, you just gonna jump to Tyler Stevenson? I mean, that's very, very judgmental of you. How'd you know I was gonna talk about Tyler Stevenson swinging at the first pitch, piss poor at bat, rolling over a ground ball into a double play? Next time he's up, let's try that again. If anything, he's consistent. I'll give him that. Very consistent, piss poor at bats by him in the first game. And at this point, I'm gonna tell you something right now. If Luke Mailey's not the starting catcher going forward in this and for this team, then we're not serious. Then we're not serious about making the playoffs. I'm done babysitting these kids. I'm done putting white gloves on and coddling them around. We're done with it. Tyler Stevenson has been a great player for this organization. I agree. He's probably not washed up. He's probably not a bum. He's probably not all the things he's being called on Twitter. That's beside the point, though. You can use your eyes. You can watch a game, and you can quickly say Luke Mailey is a better catcher right now, which is all that matters is right now, right? If you have two cars and one's broken down, but that other car is a great car, guess what? Doesn't matter how great it is when it's broken down. Tyler Stevenson is not playing baseball on this team if Luke Mailey is healthy, okay? Period. Luke Mailey is getting all the starts moving forward until he tells David Bells to his face, hey, I'm tired, or he becomes completely unproductive. Tyler Stevenson has been, unfortunately, I don't take pride in saying this, he's been the biggest disappointment of the Cincinnati Reds in 2023. And it's not to some of that is because other people don't have expectations. I'm not saying he's the worst player on this team, Luke Weaver, but he's the biggest disappointment because you thought you had something and you definitely don't.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't necessarily think it needs to be like 75-25, but I think it should probably be at least like 60-40 at this point. With the
I
way
think
that
I think it's 80-20.
Okay.
At least well, can we at least negotiate here for a second? Can we at least say until Luke Weaver cools off, or excuse me, Luke Mailey cools off? Luke Weaver, he's been cool for a while. That dude's been taking ice baths since he got to the league. But anyway, my main point about Luke Mailey is that I'm gonna ride it until it doesn't make sense anymore. We're you know what I'm saying? We're drawing up plays for the guy that's hot. We're not drawing up plays because of the best player that's cold right now. And I don't even know if he is the best player, to be honest. I'm not sure about that. Luke Mailey might be better than Tyler Stevenson, just straight up.
I think at this point we just have to hope that this is one of those just bad seasons. There's been players that have had bad seasons that really they've been inexplainable, right? I mean, there's been players that you look over their careers. Joey Votto's had a couple of those seasons where it didn't make sense, and the next year he comes back out, and you're like, how did that season before happen? And Joey Votto's never really had like a Tyler Stevenson season like this. Let me make sure I'm very clear on that. Very clear on that point. But yeah, I mean, you have to hope he has a great offseason and comes back and at least shows some of the promise that we had. I can't believe that. I'm gonna be nice. I can't believe that people thought Tyler Stevenson could play first base every day.
Well, I get you're saying that, but the only reason they were saying that is because he was productive at the plate. He's just not been the same guy.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And you convinced me of that beforehand, but then I watched him catch, and I thought, well, he can't catch. So if he can't catch, then it's hard to be a catcher. I mean, it kind of is in the name of the position. Kind of a big deal to be a good catch, catching the ball when you're a catcher.
One thing I will add on Luke Mailey is he's only caught a career-high 76 games. So I also don't necessarily run him into the ground, starting him every single day. But I do think, I think if you're looking at a 3-game series, Mailey should probably be catching 2 of the 3 games. I don't think it needs to be like, catch him every day type thing. Because I don't know if really, unless you have a catcher that's so elite, I think the rest is really beneficial. So
All right. Yeah, the chat's popping off about Stevenson. I think Stevenson can bounce back. When I watch Tyler Stevenson catch, and when I say I hope I'm wrong, what I mean by that is I just don't think I'm going to be, but I leave it open to the interpretation of possibly being wrong. Tyler Stevenson, he's just not, I don't see him being able to get better at catching. I think it's one of those things where you either have it or you don't to a small extent. I just don't think his frame and his athleticism allows him to do the things that the Reds want him to do, and it's already been shown by one single thing. At the beginning of the year, the Reds wanted him to go down to the one-knee catching position that allows you to get a little bit lower, and it allows you basically to be able to frame a little bit better, right? He tried that out for a short amount of time. It didn't work, so he went back to his traditional catching standpoint, and I think that just proves that the Reds already thought that he couldn't receive that well. And then when he wasn't able to do what they wanted him to do, it basically, at that point, made it to where he's not capable of doing it. Maybe with a full off season, he can figure it out, but I'm not banking on it. So we'll see. That's enough of Tyler Stevenson. Matt McLain, though, I got to tell you, if there was anybody that I would feel good about extending, and I'm not saying they should extend anybody right now, that kid, it's hard for me to envision him ever being bad at baseball. It really is.
yeah, he's having just an incredible season. And the Reds lineup right now is not very long. And if Matt McLain was slumping right now, it would feel even more of a uphill battle to get some of these wins. So
right,
he's been Mr. Steady since he came up hitting he's really the only guy who's kind of stayed in the same spot all year, and he's just produced all year, and he's been incredible.
Yeah. No, he has been. All right, we got one more super chat. You guys absolutely kill me. This show is comedic, win or lose. I love it. Keep me sane as a Reds fan. Borderline therapeutic. Thank you, Michael. We're part of you, man. I got to be honest with you. I've never been more as close to. And there's people that go through serious things, and there's people that obviously, I'm not downplaying, my life and my feelings, and I'm not downplaying other people's feelings when I say this. I have a great life. So when I say this, I'm not trying to say it as like, people. There's other more important things going on in the world. I preface that by saying today, when I was watching this first game and I watched the first few innings of the second game, I don't think I've ever been more depressed watching baseball in my life. Ever. I was so down. I mean, I just was. It just like I was watching it and I was just thinking, oh, we're going to hit into a double play. And then boom, there's the double play. And then it was like, sure enough, the Pirates are going to get lucky and somebody's going to run into a fastball and hit a home run. And I'm like, oh, there goes the home run. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, is this ever going to stop, Nick? Are we ever going to get lucky and get back to winning baseball? And thank God, because I put out a poll, Nick, and I asked the chat, and I say the chat is in the X.com app, if I should just take all the money that I had left in my account and put it on the Reds money line, and I was really pissed off after the second inning of this game. I got to be honest. I was like, what am I doing? That was great money that I had in that account, and I just gave it away. But not so fast. Not so fast, because I did win it. All right. Let's see here. Game 2. We also have a situation here where, I got to be honest, somehow, this is what happens when you have kids. Your boy's going to have to go and get an SSD card or something. Somehow I'm out of storage on this computer right now for recording, Nick, purposes, which is not good for you. So I'm trying to figure that out in real time. That's not helpful to this podcast. I'll get back to you. I'm working hard on it.
All right. Box score recap for game number 2. Bottom of the first, Luke Weaver gave up a absolute bomb to Brian Reynolds. Then he allowed another run later in the inning, and the Reds were quickly down 2-0. Top of the second, Reds got a 2-out rally going. Henry Ramos doubled, Will Benson walked, and Luke Mailey stayed hot with a game-tying double, all tied at 2. Bottom of the second, Luke Weaver gave up a leadoff solo home run to someone. I don't even know his name.
Who
it was
gives
3-2
a damn?
Bucks. Yeah, no one cares about him. Top of the third, Ellie De La Cruz tied the game up with a 442-foot bomb at 110.6 off the bat. That made it a 3-3 game. Ellie joined Steer McLean as the first trio of Reds rookies to hit 10 home runs in the same season. Bottom of the fourth, Luke Weaver gave up another run, and then he was pulled for Sam Mole, who got out of the inning with the Reds down 4-3. Top of the sixth, Reds got 5 runners on base in the inning, but couldn't score. CES grounded into a double play, but then the Reds did load the bases with a 2-out rally. During that rally, Pirates manager, bench coach, and pitching coach all got ejected when they were arguing that clear balls should have been strikes. TJ Friedel worked a 7-pitch at bat before hitting a ball hard right at the Pirates center fielder to strand the bases loaded. And then in the bottom of the seventh, Brian Reynolds hit his second home run of the day, this time off Ian Jabot, and the Reds trailed 5-3. And honestly, Trace, this is where it kind of felt like, man, this is just not the Reds' day at all. But at the top of the eighth, Joey Votto doubled. Henry Ramos singled him home on a ball off the glove of right fielder Henry Davis. That cut the Pirates' lead to 5-4. Then David Bell went to the bench. Pinch hitter Stuart Fairchild came in for Will Benson, and Fairchild ripped a single to tie the game up at 5. Alexis Diaz, he got the Reds out of the 8th inning and then pitched a scoreless 9th, and we went into extra innings. In the top of the 10th, Christian Encarnacion Strand had an ugly first pitch pop-up, but then TJ Hopkins, who came into the game as a defensive replacement, singled, moving the ghost runner, which was Tyler Stevenson, pitch running for Joey Votto, hang with me, over to third. And his Stuart Fairchild, he barely beat out a double play, gave the Reds a 6-5 lead. And then the Reds' extra man, the 27th man, because it was a doubleheader, Daniel Duarte got the job done, got the save in the 9th. Reds hang on for a wild 6-5 victory in Game 2. Mike?
Thank you. You know how down I was. I was going to come on the show today, and I was going to tell you the Sunday in Oakland has been trumped. The Sunday in Oakland still stands at the top.
No.
The Sunday at Oakland still stands at the top. That will be a baseball game that we'll never get back, that we 100% could have had if we just took it somewhat serious and decided we weren't going to rest all of our guys against the Oakland A's. We wanted to rest them against the Padres because we had such a good chance to beat them. Oh, by the way, we didn't beat them once. But anyways, that's beside the point. I do want to remind everybody, though, that's still watching, that there's this thing that's important. They call them the standings. And, you know, as bad as this feels and as gross as this is, that's where we are. It's just not bad. I mean, if you don't look at the run differential, outside the run differential, but who cares? Look at Miami. The Miami's in the playoffs as we speak. That's where that, where that hurts a little bit, Nick, is that Sunday game that we played against Miami. Was that Sunday? I think that was Sunday. What day was that, Nick? Anyway, that Miami was a 3-game swing. Not only do you have – it was Wednesday. See, my brain's just not there. So my point is that there was a 2-game swing based off of who wins and loses, and then you got the tiebreaker game because that was the swinging game for the tiebreaker, and we lost that as well. So it's 3 full games that we lost on Miami in that one day. So, you know, the only thing I can think of is that everybody wants to talk about the schedule. Am I being too pessimistic by thinking I'm not even worried about the schedule anymore? Because it's just a matter of the Reds getting back to playing pretty good baseball at this point. Am I being too negative, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, schedule matters some. I mean, I think this team is – I think the schedule might matter more in terms of, like, who the Reds are facing pitching-wise. Because I do think this team probably is going to have some serious struggles down the stretch hitting really good pitching. But I think they could definitely find their way to squeeze some more wins out of games like tonight when they were facing a kind of a semi bullpen game. And I know they struggled at times, but they still ended up scoring 6 runs at the end of the day. So yeah, I mean it matters until it doesn't almost. I don't know really how else to say it other than It's going to give the Reds at least a little bit of a chance, but they're clearly going to have to play a lot better than they played over the last 2 weeks, or it doesn't matter who they're playing.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I was getting at. I don't know how to feel about this team right now. They're a team that feels like they were reeling, but they just won the series. Does that not feel like really weird? Is anyone
and should have won this series against the Marlins too. Like it's not like they were outplayed the whole. You know what I mean? Like they just back-to-back series where the Reds overall,
right,
were in almost every single game. Should have won both series. So.
Yeah, that's one of those things, Nick, where really quickly, where it's almost like it's almost a way to be positive or optimistic about this team, where they've been playing this bad, but they've been in games. I mean, outside of those couple games in Chicago, they've been in games. They've just not been playing. And listen, Miami and Chicago are two teams that are fighting for playoff spots. But now, obviously, Pittsburgh's not. I don't know, man. I can't figure it out. I feel fooled. I feel like this is a complicated relationship that we have, at least that I have with the Cincinnati Reds.
I think that some of the Reds play, obviously we have the 12-game win streak and some of the play before and right after that, they made the game of baseball look way easier than it ever is. And it kind of, I think, tricked a lot of our heads to where these kind of series against the Pirates are more of the rule than than what that win streak was. You have to win some ugly series. You have to grind out these series wins. You're just not going to go into Pittsburgh and just run through them most of the time. You're going to have to find a way to win some ugly games. And so I think some of our heads got tricked just because when everything's clicking, it looks really easy. Right. But when everything's not, it looks really, really, really damn hard. And 42 games left. RM in the chat. Thanks for 42 games. It's just how you're going to have to probably grind most of those 42 games out.
Are you worried about the bullpen at all?
No, I think I'm more worried about the offense, if I'm being honest. You know, the offense without Jake Fraley. Yeah. Who I think just is such a huge, huge part of this team and makes some of the looking easier against right-handed pitching. It makes the game look a little bit easier. I mean, Duarte is going to get sent back down to AAA, so there's still some depth there. Like he has to go back down as the 27th man, so you have him. We'll get into some guys in a minute down at AAA. TJ Antone pitched today, pitched well. Casey Legumina's pitching well. So you actually do have some. And Vladimir Gutierrez could also be another. You have some additional options there. You don't have an extra left-handed bat to bring up. There's no one to replace Jake Fraley. But if Alex Young or whoever else kind of proves that they're done or they need to go on an IL stint or whatever, you have other guys that can replace them that I think are valid options. And in some cases, like Duarte is probably better than some of the guys that are in the Reds bullpen right now. So I'm not as worried as the bullpen as the offense overall.
Is Fraley? What's the update on Fraley? I mean, he went on the 10-day. Do we even have an update? Do we know?
There's no timetable, but they said they felt good. Whatever that means. I think they're making him sit out for another week from baseball activities. He has been a weird guy though that hasn't gone on a rehab assignment. Sometimes he's just come right back in. So obviously, if he's able to actually skip a rehab assignment and come right back in, that would help the Reds because the last thing you want to do is have this guy have to go play another week in Louisville. I mean, you're looking at mid-September when you start adding in all the days and all that. So
is a stress fracture a real thing? I mean, a stress fracture in his left toe?
I don't know if that's the same injury as last year, but he's had a lot of those type of injuries over the last couple of years. That's been his only real downfall. It's just he's had a lot of just like little nagging injuries. So
yeah, he's certainly missed. Will Benson's been a bright spot, though, man. I don't want to gloss over him. I think Will Benson's been just such a great player. I mean, obviously, that's an obvious statement, but just for guys that you didn't have high hopes for coming into this year, we've had so many guys that have just played above what we thought that they could even really be in a way. I guess, did we think that this was a ceiling for Benson when they traded for him? No. Guy was a top level pick when he came out for the draft. It's just that he's so exceeded my expectations that I don't want to say that we wouldn't even be anywhere near here without him. I think he's not as big of an impact player as McLean's been, in my opinion, but damn, he's close. He's close, man. And McLean's just so high on that level for me. I can't tell you how impressed I am with Matt McLean. It's almost like we don't talk about Matt McLean a whole lot because the son of a gun just does it every single day. And it's like, yeah, I mean, we could sit here and put him on the rundown. But, I mean, genuinely, Matt McLean, you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of somebody the Cardinals had back in their heyday. Like, you know, you think they finally got rid of somebody, and the next thing you know, boom, the Cardinals, they pop in a guy like Matt McLean, and you're like, golly day, where do they get these guys? You know? Pujols leaves, the next thing you know, they got some fat guy hitting. Fat Adams just decided he's going to be a good baseball player, and then they go get Goldschmidt. It's like, granted, Cardinals are in last place. I think they're still in last place, at least I hope they are. So I don't want to give him too much props, but seriously, Matt McLean's an unbelievable baseball player. Seriously, I mean, I don't want to go too many shows without saying that.
Yeah, Will Benson, I mean, every at bat, you feel like how much he embodies that like grind out mentality. Every at bat, almost every at bat's a absolute quality at bat. He always he plays his tail off. Made that catch today. I kind of was like, oh,
Great
please
catch.
God, don't get hurt. That's the kind of play where you kind of you dive in with your wrist out. That just terrifies me. Like Jay Bruce said, a couple of those. But man, he plays all out. And the guy that we also got to make sure we mention, Henry Ramos, had 3 hits in game number 2. Henry's got to been that guy that's been a spark plug for this team. I don't know how long the Henry Ramos magic can last, but he came up with a spark plug before any of the prospects came up. Kind of helped the Reds stay afloat earlier in the year. He probably deserves some starts here. He's a nice hitter. I don't think he's a like long-term big league player, but you need guys like Henry Ramos that could just kind of help fill the gap until you get through.
Yeah, really quickly, I don't know if Honest Fan is just doing this as a bit because I seen most of his chats in regards to Benson. He's a big Will Benson fan. The only thing I would say to Honest Fan about Will Benson is that he is under full team control. I think 6 years, right, Nick? So, well,
they may not even lose a year.
Did he get a year's worth of service time last year? No, he was.
Well, he was up in September. He's probably gonna get. He's gonna get
1 year.
Last year's not gonna. Yeah, only because of last year.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been up enough this year to even get a full year. But yeah, he's not a free agent until 2029. And Will Benson's 25 years old. So as much as I love what Will Benson's done, he's probably not the guy you're looking to lock up because he's going to be over 30 years old when he's a free agent.
I think the question was how long do we have him for? 6 years. We got him for 5 or 6 years. I'm not 100% sure of that, but long enough to where we don't have to worry about extending him. There was another one in the chat that I thought was Paul asked a question: were you surprised Bell pinch hit for Fairchild for Benson? I can tell you right now, Nick Kirby was not.
No.
If and that's okay if you've not watched this show a lot, Paul. That's okay, no problem at all. But let me tell you something. There is a I don't want to say that Nick Kirby's a fanboy of Stuart Fairchild. I think Nick Kirby is a very public and strong defendant of Stuart Fairchild. He is his lawyer, basically. I mean, if you were to think of I'm not talking about the lawyers that you go and you get assigned when you don't have enough money to hire a lawyer. I'm talking like the lawyers that wear the really big time suits. That's what Nick Kirby is for Stuart Fairchild. So I don't know. I don't know if Stuart gets if Kirby gets some of Stuart Fairchild's arbitration money when that becomes a thing. I'm not sure how what deal they negotiated. But there's no doubt that you honestly knew, and I'll say honestly knew, but you were hoping that was going to happen, I'd assume, correct?
Yeah, I mean, Will Benson has long splits in the minor leagues where he's not hit righties as much as lefties. Said it a million times. Just because you hit righties doesn't mean you hit lefties. Look at Jake Fraley. Jake Fraley is the best hitter on the Reds, in my opinion, against right-handed pitching. Has not hit lefties all. I think he's like 4 for 44. And I said that coming into the year, like there's data after data after data. This guy doesn't hit lefties. So, I mean, sure, you can give everyone a chance, but why are you giving them a chance? Especially, like, I think maybe it's a little bit different of a situation with a guy like Will Benson if the Reds are 15 games out of it. Sure, yeah, maybe let Will Benson take some at bats against lefties, but we're trying to win. Now, I will say I did not love the Newman pinch hitting move because you had already tied the game.
Yeah.
I think TJ Friedel's hit lefties better, and you hurt your defense on top of that. I didn't really love that one. I get why he did it.
Right.
I think that might have been a little bit of, I'll say it, a little bit of overmanaging.
Okay. No, defensively was the only thing that was the only real reason as to why you would have kept Friedel in the game. I don't think that Friedel's a better hitter in that spot than Newman, and I've defended Newman. If there's anything that I've ever defended Kevin Newman about, it's that he does traditionally put the ball in play. He's pretty elite at putting the ball in play, and in that spot, I would prefer Newman to hit. Now, if you were to tell me, hey, by the way, you lose T.J. Friedel in center field because you're going to hit Kevin Newman, that's where I probably have a little bit of an issue with the move. But I'm not going to be sideways one way or the other of it because I'll tell you why. I need to stick to my guns a little bit. I should have been a better friend with the Stuart Fairchild thing. I think Stuart Fairchild is a pretty decent, and I say decent, he's a probably above average defensive outfielder. The only thing that I dislike about I just don't know if I love putting Stuart Fairchild out there once, for the first time in like 3 weeks in center field in a tight baseball game. I don't love that, especially at Wrigley Field when it's windy and all the above. But all things considered, I think Stuart Fairchild can play any outfield position and excel at it if he gets reps. If it's not one of those things where he's literally been on the bench for 2 weeks and you throw him out there in the 9th inning of a close game, that's just unfair to him. That's unfair to Stuart Fairchild. So that's that. Let's do some Reds MILB here, and then I think we can talk about who, what, when, where, and why. Maybe there's a question in the chat we can get to, but nonetheless, the good news is this was a game-saving win. Reds split. They win the series. I got to remind everybody, I was about as down as anybody could have possibly ever been watching the Cincinnati Reds today. And you step back a little bit, and it's all okay. We're still right there in the thick of it. They have to play better baseball. Hopefully, they played some good baseball in the minor leagues. Did they do that, Nick?
Kind of a mixed bag, kind of like the Pittsburgh series, to be honest. Louisville Bats, hey, you talk about other teams that had some things go their way. They won 8-6 today because the game got rained out in the 6th inning.
Nice.
So they
Good
got
for Ben
a
Lively,
cheap
too.
win today. Yeah, not so good for Ben Lively. If we're looking for our Luke Weaver replacement, Ben Lively did not get it done today. 6 runs, didn't make it out of the 1st inning. Lively was supposed to throw 85 pitches today, but he only ended up throwing 32. I know, Trace, there's been some times where a pitcher doesn't get all the pitches that they're supposed to, and then they go to the bullpen and finish. I don't know if that was the case with him. I don't know if he actually did end up throwing his 85, but they kind of felt, hey, he's at 32. He still made it out of the 1st. We needed to shut him down, give him his 10 minutes you normally have from your break in between innings or whatever. And he may have actually got those, but nonetheless, not really a very promising start. Connor Phillips came in later in the game. And it looked like he was just getting like almost a normal start. He just didn't start because of Lively on his rehab and pitched really well. 2 1/3. He came out, or the game ended while he was in the middle of what was his outing, but didn't give up a hit. Did walk 2, did strike out 2. Marte 1 for 2. Barrero 0 for 2. Kirk Casale rehabbing was 1 for 4. Smoked a single. Actually did see that one. He hit that one hard. And then there was a lot of other pitchers. Casey Legumina pitched really well today. Inning and a third. Just gave up 1 hit. Struck out 4 batters. So all 4 of his outs were strikeouts. That's good to see. That's why I really like him as a depth piece for sure for the Reds. And then TJ Antone, probably his best outing. Perfect inning, 2 strikeouts. So, and Nick Senzel still has not played. So Not sure what's going on there. I know you get 3 days to report. I think this was day 3.
Took his time. He took his time to get down to Louisville. Do you blame him?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame him. But yeah, so that's Louisville. A lot of players in action there. Chattanooga, they won 6-2 over Pensacola. Lookouts now 11 over 500, 59 and 48 on the season. Julian Aguilar has had a little bit of struggle since getting promoted from Dayton. Pitched pretty well today, 4 1/3, just 1 run allowed. Reese Hines stayed hot. He was 2 for 5. Blake Dunn was 0 for 5. Dayton Dragons, they fell 3-1 to Wisconsin. Dragons now 56 and 52 on the season. Not a lot on the offense. Edwin Arroyo was 0 for 4. Sal Stewart was 0 for 4. Austin Hendrick was 0 for 4. But Carlos Jorge, he got his first hit as a Dayton Dragon after getting promoted recently. Matt Nelson, though, the catcher, had a great day, 3 for 3 with a double. And then the Tortugas down at Low A, Daytona Tortugas, they lost 5-3 to Jupiter. Tortugas 47 and 58 on the season. Cam Collier, though, stayed hot, 2 for 4. Hector Rodriguez and Victor Costa each were 1 for 5. And that is your Reds MILB presented by Bedford Sportsbook.
Love that. Good for Cam Collier. Good for Cam Collier. Austin Hendricks, man. Time's running out. Time's running out. I don't know what you do with that guy. I really don't. I think you
just have to say a prayer.
Yeah, it's like he's 22 years old, isn't he?
Yeah, he did it. He did have 2 home runs like in his last 5 games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was actually starting to get my hopes up a little bit. Like, hey, is this guy starting to figure it out? And then you drop an 0 for 4 on me, which I know it's only 1 game, but golly, they all don't pan out. We know that. They all don't pan out. That's why you need a bunch of them. All right.
That is the Brewers affiliate. So if there's one thing we know about the Brewers is that organization top to bottom can pitch. So Arroyo was also 0 for, South Stewart was 0 for, so maybe we can give Austin a little bit of a pass today.
Do you make anything about Connor Phillips throwing kind of as a save? Was it a save situation?
No, so Lively pitched first, and then Legumina.
I would say he threw.
That's a good call. So he threw first. Legumina came in to get out of the inning. Obviously, you're not going to have Connor Phillips coming to get out of the inning. It was only the 6th inning, and he was at 2 1/3. And it started raining while he was on the mound. So I think he was going to keep going and probably would have got close to a start or at least 4 innings. So I don't think there was anything to him in relief today other than just the fact that Lively needed to do his rehab today. So they usually make the big league starter get this actual start, and you make the minor league guy come in later. It was a little weird that Antone, though, came in before Phillips. That was kind of a little weird, but
all right. A couple funny things.
You could use Phillips as a reliever, though. That would be an interesting thought. I mean, he could definitely be really good in a role like that over, a month of the season.
Listen, there's only one spot in the starting pitching spot, a rotation that we got to figure out. Hopefully, with Hunter Green coming back, that's the answer. I don't know if it's going to be, though, because like I've said, I mean, Hunter Green hasn't pitched in meaningful baseball games in a long, long time, and it's not like Hunter Green was he was okay, but it's not like Hunter Green was, bona fide stud or ace when he was here earlier this year. I'm not trying to be negative or pessimistic. I'm just being honest. Like I wouldn't expect Hunter Green to come back and be like this, sub-4 ERA guy.
You have to remember that we only have a 4-man rotation at the moment. So, I mean, Lively didn't really inspire a lot of confidence, but I assume they're probably if he was throwing 85 pitches today, that made me think they were thinking 1 rehab start. We're having you back up next weekend against the Blue Jays. But I don't know if today says, hey,
no,
big boy, we're making you make 1 more.
Is there a chance we could just do an opener?
For Lively?
No, for Weaver.
We've been asking for it all year.
Can we give it a shot, man? Just try it. It can't hurt, dude. Guy goes out and throws 4 innings every game, Nick. Gives up like fucking 5 runs. Oh, kid show.
I've been asking for as 4th start of the year, so I don't know why they haven't. I don't know if maybe they just think there's something about Luke Weaver that he would really struggle in that. I don't know what could be worse. I really don't, but
Yeah.
Derek Lull has been, RM points out, Lull's been great in that role, so I don't get it.
I don't know, man. It's part of the Cincinnati Reds of 2023. Just got to get on with it and figure it out as we go. Hopefully it works out. We'll send a prayer to heaven. Today was an example of how good are we. I'm not sure how good we are. But then they win, and you're right back on that train, baby. You're like, we've seen them get hot before. We've seen them get hot before. We've seen them get hot once. Can we get them? Can we see them get hot twice? I don't know. I'm not sure about it, man. I got to be honest. This depth of this team is paper thin right now. I'm hoping to the Lord that we can figure out a way to get lightning in a bottle one more time, and you know who it's going to have to be. I'm going to tell you who it's going to have to be, Nick. You ready for it? Elly De La Cruz. He's the one guy on this team. If he plays above his head and he plays unbelievable, he takes this team to another level that nobody else can do it. Nobody else can do it. Matt McLain's played great for the most part all year long. Ever since he came up, he's played great. The only difference is when Elly De La Cruz is getting 3-4 hits a game, and he can't do that every game, I get it. Stealing bags, being a disruptor on the base pass, making plays in the field. And he made some great plays in the field in that second game. He's got to be a guy. He's got to be a guy. There's the old saying in March Madness, right, Nick, that your stars got to be stars if you plan to advance. Elly's going to have to be a star for this team to overachieve. And if he doesn't overachieve, I don't want to say it's okay. I'm not trying to make excuses here. I'm just saying that that's part of it too. It's frustrating as hell. I get it. It's frustrating as hell watching that dude strike out. I mean, there's times where I wonder if he's ever even looking at the pitches coming up there. He's just swinging like hell. But I'm like, all right, well. Then he comes out that second game, proves us all wrong. So, all right. Who, what, when, where, and why, Nick?
All right, another off day tomorrow.
You're gonna take another off day too, right? Please. I'm gonna make you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we're folks. I'll be honest. You're gonna have to get the podcast numbers up a little bit if you're one off day show. So you're gonna make me. You have to make me work for it. So they've been a little down. So you know.
Well,
what?
I wonder why.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's me.
I don't think it's you.
Yeah, no podcast tomorrow. No podcast tomorrow. But yeah, Reds Guardians, just a 2-game series. I hate that they do this. I really hate that they the Reds and Guardians play these 2 games here, 2 games there. Why not your closest rival? Why not have them 2 3-game series on the weekends? But nonetheless, Tuesday 6:40. The Guardians are 57-62. That's good for second place, living good in the AL Central. They're 4.5 back. Guardians have lost 9 of their last 13. Did have a big win today, though. Great pitching team, but they are towards the bottom in most offensive categories, and they've traded away some guys at the deadline. Logan Allen, the lefty, going for the Guardians. Really strong rookie season. He was a top 100 prospect going into the year by Baseball America. So another tough lefty for the Reds. Thankfully, the second game will be Noah Syndergaard, who the Reds destroyed when he was with the Dodgers. So surely expect the Reds to beat this nice lefty and then somehow struggle with Syndergaard, because that's how baseball works. Graham Ashcraft, what more can I say? 1.94 ERA over his last 8. He has never faced the Guardians. So, yeah, 6:40 Tuesday. Only question, Trace. Does Nick Cage come out for doubleheader splits? We haven't made the rules on this.
I don't know. I assume I have to dunk. I feel like we can put it to a chat. We'll put it to a poll.
Do you shoot a free throw? Do you shoot a free throw?
Yeah.
Free throws for splits?
Start a poll. I'm going to ask the question, Nick Cage. Should Nick Cage come out? All right. Let's see what we get. We'll give it a couple minutes. All right. A few other things from the injury report. Jonathan India. I did not see an update yet. I just know that obviously he went back on the IL, mentioned that he obviously was going to get a second opinion. Do we know when that second opinion's coming? Or are we going to hear about it? Or do we have any idea what the hell is going on with that?
I don't know when the second opinion is, but they're sitting him down for 2 more weeks. That was on Friday. So you're looking at August 25th will be 2 weeks from Friday. So, I mean, it's an uphill battle to be a contributor in 2023. I mean, if I'm just being completely honest, as much as that sucks.
Does India play again?
I don't know. I don't want to say. Like, I don't know. If I'm betting, I'd probably say probably ends up getting shut down for the year. Just if you're looking at it logically. Hope I'm missing something.
I just don't think they'll shut him down for the year, especially if they're in the playoff race.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely be a big determinant. I mean, like if the Reds are out of it by the time, they'll probably say, yeah, just shut it down the rest of the year. But yeah, I don't know.
So that's a tough one.
It stinks because this is the time you've really, and this, I don't want this to come across at all as like criticizing of Jonathan India. It just stinks because this is the time you've needed Jonathan India more than you've really needed him all year. I mean, there was a time where the Reds had to rotate a guy out of the lineup every day because they had too many offensive players. So
right.
It's unfortunate that, that Fraley and India's injuries both have come at the same time. That's brutal.
All right, we got 80% says that you should pull Nick Cage out. So that's a yes.
All right. You know what?
I don't know
because the Reds came back, we didn't do DSC.
You're right. That's a big league fine right there. That's a big league fine. We'll throw it up there. You actually did put him up there, to be clear, because I think you had to run to the restroom or something.
Yeah, that was a bathroom break presented by DSC.
There you go.
You got the thing, or you want me to read it?
Oh, I got it. It's the Deep Drive of the Day is sponsored by Deep South Commodities. Who else? Do you have it? It has to be maybe Ellie De La Cruz. Regardless, DSC is a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil, collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. And again, thank you to John and our friends at DSC. Big win. Massive win. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit a jump shot. I'm going to hit a jump shot, and then I'll lay it in. I feel like that's maybe, I'll tell you what, I'll hit a jump shot and maybe dunk too. I don't know. We got to do something. We got to get the mojo back.
I think.
Ooh, look at that swipe.
We do half a cage.
Now that's funny as hell. That's funny as hell. All right. I'll tell you what. I'll hit a jump shot then. At least I'll try. I'll try to hit a jump shot. What a show. What a time to be alive. This Reds team, I can't figure them out, fellas. And girls in the chat, I'm assuming. Maybe. But nonetheless, I'm not sure what we're going to do with this team. I'm starting to wonder, are we good? I don't know. I don't know if we're good. I don't think we're bad. I think we're closer to good than bad, but damn, there's times when I watch this team and I just wonder. But one thing we got to do, all right? One thing we got to do is we got to believe. We got to believe. Can't just be bandwagon guys. You're not a bandwagon fan if you're in this chat right now. I can tell you that at 10:48 at night, watching this show tomorrow. Whenever you watch it, you're not a bandwagon fan. Ohio Laker says Brick Fowler, low ceiling jumper. It is tough to hit jumpers with low ceilings, but you're about to find out one right here. I'm going to hit one from downtown because no matter what happens, we love the Cincinnati Reds, and I love you for watching this show. So here goes nothing. I see you, Ohio Laker. Athlete.